back, and I want to apologize for leaving again. But it's only 10 days, 11 days, 10 days.
It's 2 weeks of filming. You're missing 2 weeks. You know what you got to do?
What?
Just show up.
That's right. Like,
Hey, and you can't even do that.
right, but listen, I'm going to get us some great guests. I'm at the Mothership. I'm at Creek in the Cave. We got to get Johnny Depp on.
Yep.
Get Johnny Depp.
Jared Leto.
We got to get Elon
Just
Musk
get his
on.
voice out there.
Elon on. Elon's in Austin.
But yeah, so you're missing 2 weeks when we just got here, so that's cool. But
Welcome back to the most slow-motion breakup in history. Just when you thought Brendan Schaub couldn't embarrass himself anymore, his move to Texas is proving to be worse than everyone thought. When this all started almost 6 months ago, there were two main narratives going. The first one was moving to Texas is going to be an opportunity for Brendan to start fresh in a new city and rebuild what was once one of the biggest podcasts in the world. The second one was Brendan's move is going to be more of the same, and instead of a slow death in LA, we're going to witness a slow death in Austin. But I could never have predicted how much worse all of this would all turn out. Both narratives were completely wrong because, yet again, Brendan has redefined hitting rock bottom. Seriously, take a look at the new studio. They've gone for a Texas-themed logo background on the wall next to the stairs, and literally at the top of the stairs on the landing, that's where the redact himself sits. And why do they have so many fucking tripods? If the camera locations are fixed, why don't they just build a cheap rig to save space and hide the cables? They could have saved so much space by doing that. Then, of course, you've got the solo redact show set up right behind, which is just more of the same. And across the whole upstairs area, there is not one sound absorption panel in sight, just some useless black rags hanging in the corners that do absolutely nothing for the human voice. So not only does the set and lighting look like a high school visual arts project, it also sounds like dog shit too. But that's not even the worst part. Wait until you see this. Brendan is using the entire lower floor to store all of his cars for the channel Drive Fast All Gas, and wait for it, they're actually in a storage unit. This gives a whole new meaning to what are we doing here, B? So let me just get this straight. They moved their podcast studio from LA to the middle of nowhere in some Austin storage unit that nobody can find, including Brian Callen, and then they squeeze two podcast sets in the smallest area up the top so they could fit a bunch of cars downstairs for a failing car channel that doesn't make any money. This has Brendan the business shark Schaub written all over it, but the studio setup is only just the beginning. Literally everyone could see what was about to happen, except for Bupper. Brian moved down there a couple of months before Brendan, and he's absolutely killing it. He's got a regular gig at Joe Rogan's comedy Mothership, and he's making regular appearances at other comedy clubs and on various podcasts and shows. Now that Brian's cashed up and flying high again, he's ready for a summer vacation. And your boy Brendan isn't happy about it. This was the conversation at the very beginning of the podcast, right after the cringy intro theme.
yeah,
Here we are, baby.
we're back, bud.
We're back. And I want to apologize for leaving again. But it's only 10 days, 11 days, 10 days.
It's 2 weeks of filming. You're missing 2 weeks.
I'm not missing 2 weeks. I'm missing,
No, because you come back on like a Tuesday.
well, I'll come back on a Wednesday. Yeah. I'll be,
Brian, that's 2 weeks.
no, but we'll get a
shows.
podcast in that week. So it'll be 3 shows I miss altogether. 3 shows. I looked at it. A total of 3.
4, because you come back on Wednesday. We'd have to film on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll film on Thursday. We'll film on Thursday. But you know what? Hey, look at me. We're filming on Thursday, but guess what? We'll get it in. That'll be our Thursday. We'll do it Thursday morning. And then, so we only missed 3.
Maybe.
We missed 3.
Like next week. So while you're gone on, what are you going, cruise?
I'm going with the
don't get
extended
it.
family.
I don't
Bubba.
get it.
It's
I don't
every
get it.
every June. Every June.
It's so gay.
Well, it's my
Straight
whole
up.
family though. It's my dad. He's 85.
But
and-
cruises?
well, it's a high-end cruise. We stop
Cruises
in
and
Barcelona,
Teslas, dude.
Roma.
Two things I fucking hate.
No, but this is a great cruise. It's with the kids. It's it's great. It's fun.
But yeah, so you're missing 2 weeks when we just got here, so that's cool. But
Airing out your dirty laundry in the intro is a symptom of a dying podcast. Like, who seriously wants to tune into a show while they're working or just chilling at home? Maybe they're in the car, and the first thing they hear is Brendan bitching about Brian taking a family holiday. It's like when there's a couple in your friend group who are constantly arguing and bickering, but no one has the balls to tell them to break up already. After all these years of Brian needing Brendan more than Brendan needing Brian, the tables have finally turned on your boy Bupper, and now he's copying a taste of his own medicine. Just watch the way Brian talks to Brendan now compared to when they were back in LA. He gives absolutely zero fucks what Brendan thinks. He's doing things his own way and doesn't need Brendan's approval anymore. But Brendan's turned into the toxic ex-boyfriend who's trying to convince Brian that he's nothing without him and needs him to be happy.
I just need you to
No, I got us. Listen,
you know, hey, you know, after however long we've been doing this, I don't even know anymore. 14 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Back hurts, right? Hey, after 14 years, my back hurts, and so does Chin's.
Chin and Brennan have been in this studio, building this place out, putting up lights, renting the place, leasing it, paperwork, all that stuff.
Oh, buddy.
I mean, everything.
When you go play grab ass when you're like on the lake doing,
I'm in here. Stand up.
I'm in here.
Yeah, I've been.
Yeah. Oh, you just show up.
You know what I've been? About as useful as a cow chewing grass.
Yeah.
And what else is new?
Yeah, my back hurts.
No, your back hurts.
But
And I did say thank you. I did text. I really appreciate it.
Yesterday, after all the work's been done.
I really
you didn't even notice the lights? Nothing.
I'm such a dick with that stuff, and I apologize because I know you're doing a great job.
I don't need a pat on the back. Well, right?
But sometimes it's good. Your best friend should say, "Hey, dude."
No, I'm used to it by now. That stuff.
But I don't want to be that guy to you. I don't want to be that person. I want to be your friend who's there to support.
Yeah, but it's all like you just got to know. It's all good. I don't have any resentment. But me and Chin's back, me hurt.
So while Brendan and Chin have been breaking each other's backs, Brian's been off chilling with the Austin assassins in the mothership green room. By the way, renting the place, leasing it, and doing paperwork all mean the same thing. And everyone knows that Bupper's not signing anything himself. Brendan's probably been loitering around taking pics and videos for Instagram and getting in Chin's way. But someone needs to pull Brendan aside and explain to him that Brian's been carrying the show ever since they weren't able to book guests anymore. Everything wrong with the show is a direct result of Brendan and Chin's input. And when Brian's the strongest link, you know you've got a problem. Speaking of guests, though, like I said at the beginning, this move to Austin was meant to be an opportunity to bring on some big guests and breathe some life into this podcast. And now that Brian's mixing it with the top 250 again, he's got some plans for the future.
What am I going to do?
You know what you got to do?
What?
Just show up.
That's right.
Hey, and you can't even do that.
Right, but
like, what am I going to do? No, I don't want you touching anything.
Right, but that's the thing. I'd be here and I'd be like, do you want to put you'd be like, hey.
No, I don't need you to do that.
I know that.
Just show up.
Well, no.
We'll go on vacations.
Now, listen, I'm going to get us some great guests. I'm at the mothership. I'm at Creek in the Cave. We are going to have some great fun guests.
I've heard of Creek in the Cave. Is Creek in the Cave an actual cave in the creek?
It's a great club.
Oh, it's a club.
Yeah, it's a club.
See, I always think of like small Red Rocks and the water's
It's
there.
like Vulcan Gas Company. It's like right there. Right. It's that whole section that's a great club. I love that club.
That's cool.
Sunset Strip. We got some great comedy clubs.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
you got the mothership last night?
Yeah, I did Story Wars with Louis J. Gomez.
And what is Story Wars?
So Louis J. Gomez.
Is it like a play on like this is not happening?
It's
like
great. No. Louis J. Gomez came up with this idea.
I have no idea, by the way. That's not. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
So you you submit stories anonymously. Like all five of us submit three
live
different
crowd.
Stories. Yep.
They submit stories
and then
into a
they'll
hat?
read the story, and you have to guess who. It's a real story. You have to guess who in the crowd, who in the panel.
Oh, gotcha. So it's not stories from the crowd.
Yeah, no.
It's stories from the panel.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm doing it with Big J Okerson, who might be the funniest motherfucker.
I always tell you this.
Like, he might
top
be
5 doing it, Bubba.
Zach Galifianakis and Artie Lang, to me, were just raw, funny, improvise, like being able to improvise, the funniest people I've ever met.
I don't like how you picked like 2 big guys, but yeah.
I would say Big J Okerson is just from raw talent and an ability to be funny. There's nobody funny.
Calling Big J Okerson a top 5 comedian in the world right now, and even going as far as to say that there's nobody going around better than him at the moment, is absolutely crazy. These guys are so fucking desperate for a guest that they've resorted to glazing average comedians. Next, they'll be saying how amazing Steve-O is to get him in the studio as well. Brendan has burnt so many bridges over the years that it's going to be almost impossible to get a decent guest on the show ever again. And with this whole move over the past few months, all the chatter and the endless promotion from these guys, we haven't heard one word about it from Bupper's North Star, Joe Rogan. We all know how much Rogan loves to gloat when another comedian moves to Austin, yet he's had absolutely zero to say about this in any facet. Come on, B. The writing's literally on the wall. And so after they finished glazing Big J, they moved on to Luis J. Gomez. And if you don't know the history here, stick around because I'll give you a taste straight after this clip.
Luis J. Gomez. You know Luis? His
dad
was murdered. His mom was a drug addict. He went through some shit.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah, I didn't know
That's why he's who he is?
Yeah. I love that guy. He's great.
Good dad, that's why.
I did a show. He had a stand-up show at Creek in the Cave.
He lives out here?
Tuesday, and then Wednesday at Story Wars.
He lives out here?
No. He just comes in.
He just
periodically. We'll get him on the podcast soon.
Yeah, he's great.
Has he done this podcast?
Come on, Lewis, yes.
Yeah, we got to get him back on.
He's done it, right, Chin?
Jay did it for sure. Big J.
No, Lewis hasn't done it.
Lewis hasn't done it?
No, we got to get him on.
All the years we've never had Lewis on?
No, we got to get him on.
Jesus.
We got to get him. We got to get Big J.
So for those of you who don't know the history, Lewis has been one of Brendan's biggest trolls over the years, especially after Gringo Puppy came out and Brendan started getting attention from the internet for being the world's worst comedian.
Didn't I say not to do keto?
No.
It's not sustainable.
You don't
for
know
a guy like you.
You don't know anything about anything.
I know everything about everything.
That's not true. I'll listen to Brendan Schaub, who drives an Aston Martin. Thanks.
But Brendan Schaub is a fucking athlete. Okay, Brendan
He
Schaub
has
doesn't.
an Aston Martin.
No, let me explain. Brendan
He has
Schaub
Aston
is
Martin.
an ass.
You showed up here on a
Tim
skateboard.
Martin. No, I didn't show up on a skateboard. I'm too fat
Brendan
to get on
Schaub
my
is the
skateboard
best
now.
comedian in the country right now. Look at me. Have you seen his stuff?
Yeah.
He's the best. So I will take advice from him.
Brendan Schaub, let me explain to him. He might be. There's a good chance he's the best comedian of our generation. Okay,
Yes.
that's neither here nor there.
Prolific.
This is nothing.
He's
to
our
do,
Hicks.
This has nothing to do with his amazing.
I understand the keto
unbelievable-
because he's an athlete. I was a swimmer when I was a child, Lewis, and I was a great swimmer. I'll beat you in a race, and I'll beat him in a race in swimming. I'll kick his ass in swimming.
Tim, Brendan Schaub knows nothing about being fat and getting in shape.
You know, and I guess the title of it was something along the lines of like Brendan Schaub caught trying to cheat on his wife, right?
Okay.
And there's a video of Brendan Schaub at a restaurant, like just a security footage, and he goes up to a girl, allegedly goes up to a girl. You don't know. It's literally security footage. It goes up to a girl. This video of him giving his number to this chick, his wife saw it, freaked the out. And he was like, this dude.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this guy saying, he bugs him all the time. He probably doesn't say anything, right?
Pinched his nerve. He got him.
He watches every video this guy does on him, guaranteed.
If it's about writing jokes,
Yes.
you go to Schaub.
Of course.
Okay, you go to Schaub. You take his writing workshop, possibly. Okay.
Please edit this out.
They call it a workshop.
My LA friends, we don't have
Comedy
to take this
workshop.
abuse. We don't have to take this abuse in LA. We have mansions and we all drive Maseratis. We don't have to take this abuse from these low-level bodega rats.
So, but then we're not talking about comedy writing. We're not talking
I'm not
about.
talking about high-level, prolific comedian
His
Brendan
work.
Schaub.
Yeah, it's his workshop. You get his online
So you need
course.
somebody that would.
There are seriously a bunch of clips like that of Lewis just roasting the shit out of Brendan. Same with Tim Dillon, Dave Smith, and Big J. And so after calling up Brendan for so long and inviting him to Skankfest, your boy eventually agreed to do it and went on the panel, only for all of them to kiss each other's asses and play nice. So the fact that Brendan's willing to see past all of that and invite them on his dying podcast just goes to show how desperate they are to get a decent guest on. But forget comedians, these guys are shooting for the stars.
We got to get Johnny
DiCaprio.
Depp on.
Yep.
Get Johnny Depp.
Jared Leto.
We got to get Elon
Just
Musk
get his
on.
voice
Got
out there.
Elon on. Elon's in Austin. A Boy Can't Dream.
I don't know if we're the platform for it. I mean, I'd be down, obviously,
be.
but yeah, maybe.
Just ask
I'll tell you who has, you know, obviously he's a good buddy, but you listen to Theo Von and JD Vance, there's not another host in the world who can do what Theo does with these politicians.
It's hilarious.
Buddy,
It's hilarious.
bro, You listen to it in
Well, you get to know
all
JD
the politicians should come on there.
I know.
Because Theo,
You see this
feels
human
like
side of
me.
them.
Feels like me. He dips his toes in there. He kind of knows it, but he's not too into the weeds. So they're general questions that we're all curious about that no one asked them, but it's his way of thinking, dude.
There's an innocence
He
to
is.
it. There's an innocence.
It's his
to
lane.
Theo.
There's no one else.
Nobody.
You can find other Brians and Brendans. You can find other, insert whatever podcast host you want. There is not another Theo. When it's with these big politicians,
He's so
He's
unique.
not nervous. He's doing his thing.
I know.
There's information there. It's so good, dude.
He's so unique.
I just talked to him yesterday.
Really?
Just talked to him yesterday.
He's such a unique human being.
Brendan went on that whole ramble about Theo Von just so he could say that he spoke to him yesterday at the end. He's more transparent than his wife's Instagram stories. But the whole Jared Leto thing is wild. Ever since Brian Callen was falsely confused by several women of SAing them a few years back, Brendan has adopted the default position to never believe any allegations that women make ever again. They've openly defended Russell Brand and Jared Leto, and I've even heard Brian trying to defend P. Diddy, but then backtrack when he realized what he'd just said. Becoming apologists for celebrities with allegations against them is not the path back to doing big numbers and pulling in big ad dollars. And I'll never get sick of hearing Brendan try to leech off Theo Von's success. He has to constantly remind everyone that they're still good buddies, even though Theo ditched Brendan to go out on his own and become one of the biggest podcasts in the world.
Are you
Theo's
critical?
super aware too. Like he randomly texts me. I don't know if he knew I moved or something like that. And he's like, checking in, man, blah, blah, blah. You going through a tough time? And I was like, I just moved to Austin, man. Yeah, I'm trying to find my way. I'm heartbroken about LA. Yeah.
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 You
Is
do
it-
miss LA, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. I miss my community, my routine. I'll find it, and it's starting to happen.
Yeah, you'll find it. You'll
Like I talked to this guy last night, and he moved from LA, and he was like, "Yeah, Texas is great, man. Best decision I ever made." He goes, "But you should know it's no LA. Because you're gonna miss. There's no replacing LA." And I was like, "Oh, how long did it take you to get? How long did it take you to get back in your routine and feeling comfortable?" It was 3 years. I went, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, tough 3 years. Tough 3 years." I went, "Oh, shit."
See, I don't feel that way.
I went, hopefully it's faster for me than that. He goes, "Probably not, but you figure it's only 3 years."
Jesus Christ.
But just the sweetest guy too, just dead honest.
Things are not going to plan. And I'm not going to lie here, guys. As much as I think Brendan is his own worst enemy, I can't help but feel bad for the guy. He uproots his whole family while his kids are young to follow Brian to Austin. Rogan hasn't even acknowledged their presence in any facet. Meanwhile, Brian's hit the ground running, selling out shows at the mothership and going on different shows and podcasts. The new studio is in some random storage unit in the middle of nowhere. It looks shit and it sounds shit. Brendan's clearly hating it down there, but he's still pushing through with a brave face, trying to make it happen. Bro, just let it go. Admit you were wrong and go back to LA. You were clearly happier there. This didn't turn out the way you thought it would. Rogan doesn't give a fuck that you're there, and Elon doesn't even know who you are, B. I said this a couple of years ago in one of my videos. Brendan's biggest problem was trying to become a comedian while still trying to have a voice in the MMA community. If he had never tried his hand at stand-up comedy and instead used his podcast profile from JRE and The Fighter and the Kid to open up a gym franchise, I really think he'd be absolutely killing it right now. I really do. If you think about all the drama he's been involved in, almost all of it comes from him trying to be a comedian and struggling for acceptance within the industry. All of that shit with Bobby Lee and Kalila would have never happened. The internet wouldn't have turned him into a meme because of Gringo Papi. He would have been just another retired MMA fighter who was friends with Joe Rogan and made a name for himself in his own lane. I actually think he could still do it now. Brendan still has some support in the MMA community. He could move back to LA, drop The Fighter and the Kid and the Golden Hour, put all of his energy into producing a professional MMA show, actually watch the fights instead of watching the highlights, fire Chin and get a decent producer who understands basic audio-visual production, maybe a research assistant to give him a cheat sheet before every show, and then open an MMA gym, work hard, grow the membership base, prove that it's a viable business model, then get some investors on board and expand around the country. everyone would leave him alone and he'd make a shitload more money. I mean, look at the title of this episode of The Fighter and the Kid, Schaub on why he shaved his head. And this is the only part in the whole podcast where he talks about it.
Let me ask you a question, Brendan. When I'm sure you mentioned it already many times, but why did you shave your head?
The boys wanted to shave their head, and they asked me to do it. And I was like, yeah, why not?
And how do you feel?
I like it.
Don't care.
No, does it feel a lot like
Oh,
better?
it's so much easier.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm a fan.
And my mom always gets mad how I wear hats all the time. My mom does. And my wife has been asking me to shave my head forever. And I never was just like, nope,
likes
nope,
it, right?
nope. Yeah, she loves shaved
It
head.
looks way better.
And then the boys wanted to do it when they came out here because it was hot.
yeah,
And they're like, Dad, do it with us. And then so we all looked at exactly the same.
shaving your hair is one of the best feelings to me.
Yeah, it's easy. I just take that 2-guard and do it myself now.
Mm-hmm. And you could do like mini fades too to make it look really
Yeah,
clean.
I can't do fades yet. Let's
Yeah,
not
you
get
can.
crazy. I don't want to fuck my shit
You
up.
could fade. That's like super fadeable.
Really?
Yeah,
Leave it
that
like
length. Right much.
Yeah, I do T and Bossies like once every week.
Yeah.
There's fresh cuts.
Seriously, they named a whole show after Brendan shaving his head. Bro, nobody gives a fuck. He's talking about his hair, but he's not even in focus because the autofocus was locked on Brian the whole time. Chin, set it to manual focus and put them both at equal distances from the camera in the 2-shot. Fuck me dead. What are we doing here, B? I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm actually kind of disappointed with this whole Texas move. I really thought that Brendan was going to put a bit of money and effort into the studio and try to pull some guests on the show, but this is just fucking miserable. There are quite a few theories going around about how he's still making money, and I definitely agree that they're buying bot views. I'd say at least 30 to 40,000 per episode. They're going to get caught eventually and find themselves on the receiving end of a massive lol suit from Podcast One. That's how they're still making money. It's because the ad deals are syndicated by Podcast One and they spread the revenue around to all the podcasts on their payroll. That's how all of Brendan's shows are still going under the radar and making money. They're part of a group. They don't have direct deals with any of the advertisers. But that's obviously just my opinion. I don't know for sure. I'm just speculating based off public information. As for Brian Callen, I think he's playing the waiting game and he's holding out for Brendan to have the idea to part ways. I don't think he has the balls to burn that bridge with Brendan, so he's planting the seed for Bupper to turn around and think it was his own idea. That sounds like something Brian
What's gonna happen? That was one of the best rants I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was fantastic. I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong, or if I'm right, I just hope that I'm dead. Or I get to be one of the people who's keeping everyone else in the cage.
Don't you love it when comedians accidentally out themselves? One of the best things about the growth of podcast culture is this seemingly never-ending conversation from the podcast class. I'm talking about the Joe Rogan universe. Joe and his circle of comedians who dominate our attention, constantly feeding us with hours and hours of shit-talking. And for the most part, these guys are pretty funny. Tim Dillon, Tom Segura, Mark Norman, Shane Gillis. These guys are great stand-up comedians. But with this endless stream of consciousness they feed us, how do we know when they're joking or being dead serious? Where is the line? Do you know where it is? And why does it matter anyway? Well, I think it does matter because these are the guys who blew up during the pandemic off the back of their shit-talking, championing free speech, liberating us from the mainstream media and highly produced content that we've been fed for years and years in bits and pieces in between rolls of ads from network and cable television. So what happens when these guys get so rich and famous that they start to become what they've spent so many countless hours warning us against? And the funniest part is all of you who claim that the comedians are doing a better job at social commentary than the media, but then when they say something controversial or contradict themselves, oh, it's just a joke. Why can't you see the humor? These guys are talking shit. They're just comedians being funny. So let me ask you this then. When they get called out, why do they get so mad? I'm going to show you the real Tim Dillon. Behind all the shit-talking and grandstanding, you'll discover a hustler who's just trying to get paid. Another grifter who blew up from his appearances on JRE and used it to cash in. And if you question him, he'll take you down. Because just like Tom Segura, he's special. His views on free speech don't apply to him, but they apply to you. So what the fuck am I talking about? One of my favorite YouTubers is Too Lazy to Try. He's been making content for a couple of years and he tends to focus on podcast culture, radio, and some internet drama as well. If you haven't already guessed it, he's been a massive inspiration for this channel. I've probably watched every single one of his videos and a lot of them more than once. Now, I don't know the guy himself, so this isn't some cringy collaboration or anything like that. I'm bringing him up because he was the one who outed Tim Dillon. Almost a year ago, Too Lazy made a video about the drama between Tim Dillon and his ex-producer Ben Avery. They apparently had a falling out and went their separate ways. But what caught us all by surprise was that the Tim Dillon Show did a manual takedown of Too Lazy's video, which resulted in a copyright strike on his YouTube channel. If you get 3 strikes, YouTube will just delete your channel. So it's kind of serious. Now, for those of you who don't know, let me just take a minute to explain how YouTube's copyright content ID system actually works, because it's critical to understanding why what Tim Dillon did was so fucked up. So if you upload a video onto YouTube, you can choose to register your video under YouTube's copyright match tool. This basically means YouTube will give your video an audio-visual fingerprint, and if anyone else uses your video in their video, it will notify you and you can choose from a couple of different options. You can choose to do nothing, you can allow the other channel to use your content but take all the ad revenue for yourself, or you can straight up just take it down and have it removed from the other channel. Now, this is quite a useful tool. For example, if you're a movie studio and you drop the latest trailer for your movie, the data that YouTube gives you on the demographics and viewing habits of the viewers of your trailer can be very useful. So you don't want all these other random channels uploading your movie trailer and taking away viewers from your movie trailer. It's not always about money. And this actually happened to me. I made a video about Bert Kreischer's The Machine movie, and I used a couple of bits from one of the trailers, which Sony Pictures flagged as soon as I uploaded it. But I disputed it like I do for all my copyright claims, explained to them how I'm using it under the fair use doctrine, and they released their copyright claim pretty much within 24 hours. Same for any other clips I use from JRE or even The Fighter and the Kid. They get flagged when I upload them, but they always release them when I dispute it under fair use, sometimes in a matter of hours. So here's the thing. Around 99% of copyright claims are taken care of through YouTube's automated content ID system. So there's no hard feelings. These guys are just trying to protect their content from other clips channels who upload clips from JRE, for example, but they don't add anything to it. It's not transformative, there's no commentary, there's no analysis, they're just fucking leeches, basically. But what about the other 1% of copyright claims? Well, they're done manually, and that's exactly what happened to our boy Too Lazy. The Tim Dillon Show did a manual takedown of his video, it wasn't automated, and bear with me because there's one more important piece of the puzzle you need to get the full picture. Let's use JRE and The Fighter and the Kid, for example. They don't manage their copyright themselves because it's a pretty big job and they produce a lot of content. So they outsource it to these companies that specialize in content ID management, companies like Superbam or Bent Pixels. Basically, these companies might say to JRE, hey, you guys do your thing, give us access to your library of content, and we'll create audio-visual fingerprints for all of your content on YouTube on your behalf, so you don't have to worry about it. You can just focus on doing your podcast. And so Joe and Jamie will probably say to them, yeah, no worries, take your fee, but make sure you don't dick people around. Only take down content that's actually infringing on our copyright. That's why my videos always get released by these guys. Unfortunately, Bent Pixels did a manual takedown of one of my recent videos on behalf of Vlad TV for a short interview that I used with Adam22. So if you want that story, you can go and check that out. But back to Tim Dillon versus Too Lazy. The reason why I told you all of that is because it was actually the Tim Dillon show who made that claim. It wasn't some outsourced third-party company. So that means that it was a fully manual takedown by the Tim Dillon show themselves. There was no middleman. It wasn't a system error. This was personal. This was targeted. And why? Because Too Lazy was calling out Tim Dillon for being a dick to Ben Avery. Mind you, Too Lazy had like 20,000 subscribers at the time, and now he has around 150,000. So Tim Dillon definitely took the L on that one. By the way, I'll leave links to Too Lazy's videos explaining all of this in the description below if you haven't already seen them. So then, with all of that in mind, let's watch a couple of clips from Tim Dillon's famous rant about the future of America from JRE episode 1860.
You know how crazy it is to not enjoy a McMansion, a flat screen TV, a McFlurry? You know how much blood is in the street for those things? And people act like they don't even matter. And they're fighting about all this bullshit? It's crazy. Anyway, that's the truth. That's the real truth. Nobody wants to hear it, but that is the truth. We have a lot of these things are nice, but some of them are ill-gotten gains. Fine. You know, not everybody picking tomatoes is happy about it. But have you ever had a good, like a nice Jersey thick beefsteak tomato? It's good. Imagine having one and then fighting with someone about something. It's stupid. If there's a hell, we're all going. And if there's not, we get reincarnated when we're Beatles or something. But just enjoy it. And nobody wants to enjoy it. And that's what makes me upset. Is that we used to have a country built on enjoyment, built on fat, stupid people enjoying the work of a small group of demons. And now we can't even enjoy that. Can't even have fun.
So after he sets the stage with his nostalgia for a consumer-based material society that was just happy being a bunch of fat fucks indulging in the fruits of a capitalist society, he moves into describing himself perfectly. He lays it all out for us. All you've got to do is just listen.
Our society will go down. Nothing will ever be funnier. America will come apart in one of the funniest ways. All of these people, these grifters, everybody circling the wagons, the Caitlyn Jenners, the Donald Trumps. It'll be funny till you'll die laughing. Literally, you'll die, but you will be laughing. It will be the most absurd and insane thing. It will be out of a fucking dystopian horror movie, and no, it won't be funnier than America, because we're a crazy country full of crazy people, and everybody's just trying to suck the last few dollars out of this bloated pig corpse of an empire before the end. And I'm no different. Watch my special and subscribe to my pod. What am I going to fucking sit here? What am I going to go preach on a fucking mountain? We got to make a little money here. But make no mistake, I mean, if I'm wrong, and I'd love to be wrong, but if your attitude or your idea is that the population's going to get smarter, healthier, and more adept at problem solving, you're on fucking crack.
Oh, yeah, probably. You're probably right.
Yeah.
Well, what happens next?
Well, what happens next doesn't matter to Tim as long as he's at the top of the food chain. He clearly doesn't give a fuck. But by far the worst part of his epic rant was towards the end, where he warns us against a society in which our freedoms are lost. It's dystopian. There's no free speech. There's no freedom of thought or expression. Kinda like taking down someone's YouTube video for being critical of you.
And we'll have experienced the best of it. We'll remember when you could get in a car without a tracking device. We'll remember when you didn't have a fucking tracking device attached to you at all times. We'll remember when you could say what the fuck you want, alienate people, piss them off, and no one really cared and it didn't matter because you could wake up the next day and say, sorry, I was drunk, and it wasn't on fucking Twitter. People didn't have a record of what you did and what you said and where you were and who you fucked and everything else. We will remember true freedom. We're one of the last groups of people to actually be free. And we should all thank God for that, because the hellscape that's about to be created is going to be so bad, they won't even know how bad it is. It won't even feel like they're in prison. Because those offices we talked about, people, they get to like them. Oh, there's creamer today. French vanilla. It's your favorite. Ugh. It's coming. It's coming, and it's going to be so bad it won't even feel bad. But we'll be like, shit. Remember when you could do all those things you can't do anymore? But, you know, and there'll be a few people that remember it, and then they'll take all those books about that shit and burn the fuck out of them. They'll go, well, those aren't good. Racism, homophobia, misogyny, burn, burn, burn. And people will forget when you were free, and they will just kind of create a society based on goodies, little rewards, and the addiction to celebrity, where our leaders will all be celebrities who will tell you on closed circuit television how good things are going. And you'll go, good, thanks. That's what's going to happen.
That was one of the best rants I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was fantastic. I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong, or if I'm right, I just hope that I'm dead. Or I get to be one of the people who's keeping everyone else in the cage. Or I get to be one of the people who's keeping everyone else in the cage.
So I know a lot of you listening to this will be thinking, bro, relax. He's just talking shit. You're reading too much into it. Fine then. So tell me, how can you tell when he's being serious and when he's joking? Where does one end and the other start? There's that old saying, there's truth to every joke, and I really believe that, especially when these guys are talking off the cuff for hours and hours on end. The truth will inevitably get mashed up into whatever joke they thought of on the spot. It's just human nature. The inspiration has to come from somewhere. But even still, say he is just talking shit and that whole rant was just one big bit he's been waiting to drop on JRE. Why are so many people praising him for talking the truth? Isn't it just a bit? And what about judging a man for his actions rather than his words? He tried to take down a YouTuber for being critical of him. Those are the actions of a fucking hypocrite who wants to protect his grift from being called out. He clearly did the wrong thing by his producer Ben Avery and tried to cover it up by censoring those who spoke out about it. People like Tim Dillon wave around the First Amendment when people find their jokes offensive, but tuck it away when they're on the receiving end. It's the same old story. They start small, they blow up overnight, and then they become exactly what they always used to criticize, just like Tom Segura. But Joe Rogan, on the other hand, he had fuck you money before he started his podcast. He was just looking for something to do, to talk shit with his friends and get high. That's why Joe rarely talks about his money or his possessions. He just seems to want to have interesting conversations with people and watch bear takedowns and fake UFO sightings. Now, I want to leave you with this final thought. Tim Dillon, like many other podcasters, will monetize your videos and take the ad revenue if you use any of their clips. Think of a JRE episode where he tells Jamie to pull up a song he likes. He starts singing, he gets high or whatever, or he reacts to a video that's going viral. That's someone else's content. That's not his. So imagine all those creators who owned that content took all of Joe Rogan's ad revenue from that episode because he played their video for a few minutes. Now we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode in ad revenue. So this is the same shit on a smaller scale. But Rogan gets it. Like I explained earlier, I'm not having a dig at Rogan. That was just an example. Maybe he needs to have a talk with some of his friends and set them straight. Because they're doing exactly what channels like mine and Too Lazy to Try are doing. They're reacting to shit that's happening around them, just like us. Same thing. Except for some reason, when they do it, it's different because they think they're special. Anyway, a little bit of a different video for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening. I'll chat to you in the next one. Cheers.
So let's do this.
Yeah.
We're going to read some ads.
Okay.
All right. And then we're going to switch over to the Patreon for the last part. So join the Patreon if you want.
Why do you switch? Why are you making them go on Patreon?
That way.
That way what?
It's good.
Do you need the money?
Yes.
Really? The
No,
ads
I don't.
and the Patreon? You're going to make them listen to ads
Hold
and
on.
then switch to Patreon?
Hold on. This is look.
This is like when I watch a fucking fight on DAZN, which I pay for,
DAZN.
and there's a fucking ad between the rounds.
Hold on.
Is it subscription or is it fucking
Holy
ad?
shit, there's 3 ads. Hold on.
Yeah, but you don't have to put this on Patreon.
We
You don't have to. You don't need the
It's
money,
not for me.
Shane
Matt
Gillis.
and Sean need it.
How
Matt's
much,
got a family.
How much do you get for Patreon? How much really?
I'll tell you.
You tell me. How
Right
much
now?
do you think you'll make on this on Patreon?
If 1,000 people join
Yeah.
the Patreon, it's $5 a month.
It's $5,000 a month. And then you
Times
think they
12.
just stay there.
And then they like it.
But
'cause
you
it's
think
good.
1,000 people will join your Patreon? 5,000 new people because of this?
I wish you would stop this. Guys,
I will
support
pay
the greatest
him
history podcast.
$5,000 a month
Guys,
to keep this content free.
This could be the greatest history podcast of all time. And thank Christ, it's brought to you by Manscaped. What are you betting on, Sean? What have you won lately?
I should have bet on Cheeto Vera versus. This is.
It's such a mistake to try to do ads at the end of this.
Okay.
He probably fucking hates us now.
I know. We look like fools.
You have no idea.
His wife. Did you see Sebastian's wife doing a handstand on the edge of a infinity pool?
No.
I almost wanted to hit my wife and go, "You can't do anything." Pull up Sebastian's wife. But look at this. I'm having such fucking FOMO, Tommy.
Yeah. Well, you can take a vacation.
No, I can't.
Well, that's true.
I can't.
It's probably a good time to mention that we both have huge obligations this summer that are going to take us away from vacations and anything else.
Obviously, we're trying to figure out our schedules for
Yes.
this summer. Tom's making a big movie. And I said to someone, they're like, what happens with Two Bears? And we're like, we have no idea. I mean this for real. We don't have the kind of budgets where we can just go, hey, let's take privates and meet each other in Austin.
No, it's crazy.
We're really kind of just trying to get done.
Yeah.
I had a theory about this with comedy, actually. Yeah. I think that I think the bubble has subsided a little bit.
Yeah, well, you can tell that by our ticket sales.
I get back from a short vacation to Tom and Bert planning their retirement. Tom's not taking the summer off, he's staging his exit. This is phase 3 of the master plan to quietly dip out of podcasting, become a serious Hollywood actor, and monetize all of his comedian friends through YMH Studios on the way out. That's the business model now. Turn your friends into content, sell them back to their own fans, then disappear behind a paywall. Meanwhile, Bert's over here acting like this is just a scheduling conflict, like they're so busy with big projects this summer that they might not be able to record a few podcasts. These guys couldn't even be fucked to phone it in from a hotel room now. Here's the truth of it. They've both checked out. Tom and Bert are entering the post-comedy phase of their careers. Some would actually argue that they're still in the pre-comedy phase, but forget about that for now because this is their retirement arc. No more killing, no more viral Kool-Aid clips, just cruise control until their audience gives up and moves on to the next guy with a microphone and a half-functioning frontal lobe. Wait, am I that guy? Damn. And so the pandemic comedy boom bubble that Joe Rogan accidentally created by sneezing in Austin is bursting, and everyone knows it. Even Andrew Schultz, who literally made his entire career riding the algorithm wave, said it out loud on Flagrant. The comedy scene is bloated, the fan base is burnt, and the live show business is heading for a reset. But we'll come back to that later because while Tom and Bert are out there getting Harvey Weinsteined by Netflix executives, they're handing over the reins to Two Bears, One Cave to a couple of their comedy buddies. This is the beginning of the end. If you've been following both my channels here on YouTube and also over on Patreon, shout out to all you legends on Patreon, by the way, you'll know that this latest move from Tom and Bert perfectly fits into this timeline. Like, this shit is almost too predictable at this point. And Bert's completely lost in the sauce. He's in a full-blown FOMO spiral because Sebastian Maniscalco's wife is doing handstands on an infinity pool and wants to slap his own wife because she can't live up to his Instagram feed. Meanwhile, Bert's out here looking like the before pic in an Ozempic infomercial.
I'm having, I told you this downstairs, but I'm having real FOMO.
Yeah, for like parenting stuff.
Dude, Sebastian's in fucking Corsica with his kids. His wife, did you see Sebastian's wife doing a handstand on the edge of an infinity pool?
No.
I almost wanted to hit my wife and go, "You can't do anything." Pull up Sebastian's wife. Look at her.
It's pretty nuts.
She's doing a fucking handstand. Leanne couldn't even stand on the edge of an infinity pool.
Yeah, you should definitely.
Look at that. This is why fucking Instagram needs to shut down. I'm looking at this. Now go to fucking Andrew Schultz. Look at this. Look at this. Look, they look great. Clean clothes. No stains. No ice cream stains. They're on a goddamn boat.
Yeah, that's
They're on a
awesome.
fucking boat. She looks amazing. Look at that. A little fun kid car.
Hotel du Cap.
Maybe we shouldn't tell everyone where he's staying.
Well,
All right.
it's on the Instagram.
Oh, yeah, it's on Instagram. Now go to Andrew Schultz. Look at this. I don't know why this is all promo stuff. Get out of here. Get out of here. Does he have 2 accounts? Oh, well, never mind. Oh, go to his stories. Go to his stories. Go to his stories. Go to his stories. Okay, look at that. Beautiful little girl, Ibiza, Spain. Look at this.
Oh, yeah,
Just a bunch of New York Jews swimming in the ocean.
Having a good time.
Don't even care about Gaza.
Yep.
And then look at this. Great food.
Oh, yeah.
Look at cocktails in the afternoon. This is killing me. And then, of course, he's got a snorkel on. This guy doesn't belong in the ocean. But the fish, he's panicked. This is New York for you. He's like, I'm going to get the piranhas.
Scared.
The piranhas. Is that Dove?
I don't know.
And then look at this. Everyone's young and beautiful. The kid's got a nanny. Kids taking a nap, and they're partying balls.
This is what comedy podcasting looks like in 2025. 2 multi-millionaires sitting in a studio scrolling Instagram, venting their jealousy in real time. This isn't a bit. This is not satire. This is Bert Kreischer spiraling because Sebastian Maniscalco's younger, better looking, and more famous than he is. Hold up, they're both the same age? Fuck me dead, they're both the same age. Geez, Bert's looking rough. He spends a full 2 minutes daydreaming about hitting his wife because she doesn't post thirst traps like Sebastian's wife, while Tom just sits there nodding like this is a totally normal thing to say into a microphone with the cameras rolling. Like, imagine being that deep into your own FOMO that you start resenting your own wife for not being Instagram worthy. Bert's not just jealous, he's in a full-blown identity crisis. His brain has been completely scrambled by social media, just like Joe Rogan, except while Rogan's gone full Facebook boomer, Bert's scrolling through Andrew Schultz's vacation photos like a real housewife mid-divorce. At this point, Bert isn't even a comedian. He's a pick-me girl with a podcast. The man is living in constant fear that everyone's having more fun without him. He's a human comment section, a pre-viral meme. Watching Bert navigate his Instagram feed is like watching that scene in Jumanji where the girl gets stuck in Jack Black's body, except Bert's fatter, sweatier, and less talented than Jack Black. And while he's ranting about nanny privilege and ice cream stains, we start to get the real reason this episode exists in the first place, because underneath all the screaming and the screenshots and the FOMO is a quiet little pivot away from comedy. Tom and Bert are hitting pause on Two Bears, One Cave while they chase their dreams or clutch at straws. Just depends how you look at it.
But look at this. I'm having such fucking FOMO, Tommy.
Yeah, well, you can take a vacation.
No, I can't.
Well, that's true.
I can't.
Well, actually, we both really have to stop soon because it's probably a good time to mention that we both have huge obligations this summer that are going to take us away from vacations and anything else.
I'm only here right now to film some episodes to go back to work. Shooting a television show for Netflix. It's called Free Bert. It's you can find the write-up on it. I'm not going to tell you about it. I hope you enjoy it. Can you say what you're doing?
Yeah, now I can. So it's such a. I've always said it's such a weird business. But anyway, so at this point, it's already out. So I'm shooting a movie this summer. And we're shooting in New Mexico. It's called El Tigre.
Obviously, we're trying to figure out our schedules for this summer. Tom's making a big movie, and I said to someone, they're like, "What happens with Two Bears?" And we're like, "We have no idea."
Yeah,
because you're in New Mexico, I'm in Atlanta, and we don't have the kind of. I mean this for real. We don't have the kind of budgets where we can just go, "Hey, let's take privates and meet each other in Austin."
No, it's crazy.
We're really kind of just trying to get done.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What's Tom doing?" And I go, "I don't. Some movie." And you know how I don't listen.
Yeah.
So now the story is they can't afford to keep podcasting while they're away over the summer. Really? These are 2 guys who've done entire podcasts while drunk on a boat after a 5K run inside some random party house they hired and literally during Bert's colonoscopy. They're known for banking episodes months in advance. They've flown across the country to do one-off recordings just to promote their vodka brand, but now suddenly they can't make it work. Come on, B. This isn't a money problem, it's a motivation problem. Tom and Bert don't want a podcast anymore, and honestly, fair enough. You can only fake laughter in front of a camera for so long before your soul starts to leak out of your ass. The mask slips, the shorts tighten, the rogue nicotine patches lose their edge. But what's funny is how they try to frame it like it's out of their control. Like, oh, sorry guys, we just physically can't keep podcasting while doing all these massive high-budget Netflix projects and movie shoots. Right, sounds super tragic. You poor bastards. What's even funnier though is who they've picked to replace themselves with. Because if you've been watching this channel for a while, you already know what happened to Brendan Schaub when Brian Callen ditched him in Austin, Texas. That's right, with a G. It resulted in the slow motion panic attack that Brendan's still suffering from. Schaub struggled to find a replacement and ended up with two guys who looked like they just got evicted from the comedy mothership green room. So he decided to start a new podcast with Jesse, whatever the fuck his name is. But Tom and Bert have pulled a complete reverse Schaub. That's right, I just invented a new phrase. They're stepping away from the podcast and it's immediately about to get better. They throw the keys to Chris DiStefano and Stavi, and suddenly the most tired show on YMH has potential again. Honestly, this is what fumbling upwards looks like.
So we were thinking that, you have your show, I have this movie, we're both off the grid, so to speak. We want to keep podcasts coming out. So we thought a fun thing to do would be, why don't we ask some friends to do episodes for us?
Yeah. And we have so many great friends that do podcasts that are, either in Austin or New York or LA. So we thought it'd be fun for you guys to get into the comments right now and tag who you'd love to see as guest bearers.
Yeah.
And then we'll read all of those. And then Tom and I are going to pick who we want and not care who you want.
Right. We'll see your suggestion.
We'll see them, but we aren't going to listen to them. We'll pick Chris DiStefano and Stavi.
Okay.
That's it. We said,
yeah.
Who do you want? And I think Chris DiStefano is the funniest guy on a podcast ever.
Oh my God.
Everything he ever says makes me laugh. He is so quick.
Should we call one now? I'll call Chrissy.
FaceTime.
Let's see here. Hey, handsome.
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry, I missed the call. I was texting one on the subway.
That's cool. We're doing a podcast. Look, it's me and Bert. We're telling the audience here that you're going to be doing.
What's up, Chris?
We're telling people that you guys are going to be doing some guest episodes for us. So everyone here is excited.
Yes, I'm pumped to do it with. I believe I'm with Stavros.
Yeah, perfect.
And I'm also happy to be on FaceTime with Bert Kreischer's feet.
Yeah, there they are. He's got fresh painted nails. He's real excited, dude.
We're going to send you guys 5 talking points we want to hear you guys talk about, and then you can talk about whatever.
Amazing, dude.
So instead of recording a few banked episodes like they've done 100 times before, Tom and Bert have decided to tap out and hand the reins to a couple of guest bears. And for once, they actually made a good call, because here's the thing. I like Chrissy D, I like Stavi. These are two of my favorite comedy podcasters, right up there with Tim Dillon and Mark Normand. They're fast, they're unhinged, they don't pretend to be the wise old elders of the comedy scene. They're just funny, which is more than I can say for these two jerk-offs. So while Tom's off in New Mexico trying to remember his lines and Bert's in Atlanta crying into a bowl of edibles, Chrissy D and Stavi will be injecting a little actual life into the two bears' corpse. And I'm here for it. It's the best thing to happen to that podcast since Bert started wearing makeup to hide his bloated red corpse. But somewhere in between the forced laughter and the nail polish fumes, something slipped out there. A momentary glitch. A Freudian slip, if you will. Bert starts rambling about the good old days, about when we were comics. That's right, the past tense, the accidental honesty. He says it out loud, not as comics, not as working comedians, not even back when we started, when we were comics. Like it's already over.
You know what I was thinking? You know what's crazy? I don't know, this is a weird thought, but I was looking at like when we were comics versus when these guys are comics. And I feel like...
What do you mean when we were comics?
When we were... Oh God.
When we were new comics?
No, when we were their age.
Oh.
But like, whatever happened to the middle class of comedy?
The middle class.
Like the middle class. Like when we were like, how about this? Forget ages. When we were like 12 years in,
Yeah.
15 years in, 12 years in.
Okay.
Everyone was doing clubs. Everyone was making $2,500. Maybe guys were making $6,000. Maybe guys were making $25,000. But there weren't a lot of people making crazy money. And then all of a sudden, something happened with comedy. I don't know if it was podcasting, but the wage gap is just so far.
It's so enormous.
There's no middle class anymore. Like even like these guys are all doing arenas and huge theaters. Like the other day on Sunday, I'm sitting in my backyard and I'm not working. You know, I'm having coffee. I have nothing to do on Sunday. And I open the New York Times app and 3 of my friends are in the New York Times. They're all doing very, very big things, but they're not like 30-year comics. We're not talking about Seinfeld. It was Shane, Schultz, and Dave Smith are all in the New York Times.
Separately.
Shane, I mean, I didn't read the articles, but I only read Dave Smith's article. But I didn't read the articles because I don't,
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's positive or negative, I don't want it to affect.
You don't know what the articles were even about?
It was about Schultz being, I really don't know.
Okay.
I really didn't. I mean, I kind of glanced
and Shane,
over it.
was Shane's about his show?
Yeah, but I think it was good.
Okay. And what was the Dave? This is a great summary.
The Dave one.
Yeah.
He's America's foremost political journalist. That's what the majority of it was all about. He's like a political journalist now. Schultz is. So is Theo, and so is Dave. Dave's was a negative piece. Podcasters shouldn't be talking about politics. Podcasters shouldn't be interviewing politicians. Podcasters.
Oh, wow. The remarkable idiocy. That's a pretty aggressive headline, man.
Well, he went head to head with this guy on Rogan.
Yeah, that got a lot of traction. That was a huge
lot of
thing.
traction.
Yeah.
Bert spends this entire episode bouncing between jealousy and nostalgia, like a guy who just found his college hoodie in a box full of divorce papers. You can almost feel it, the quiet panic, the longing. He's still chasing the high off that Rolling Stone article from 25 years ago, the one that kickstarted his whole career, back when being the party animal felt like a title, not a warning label. And now he's scrolling through his phone like a widowed frat boy, trying to convince himself that a FaceTime with Chrissy D counts as still being in the game. He sees Shane Gillis in the New York Times and suddenly it's a therapy session. Bert Kreischer's name-dropping addiction comes off like he's listing the exes who moved on without him. And true to form, he doesn't read a single one of the articles. Not one, just headlines. This is Rogan levels of media literacy. He even admits it. I didn't actually read it, but I kinda glanced over it. Then proceeds to give a full-blown opinion piece like he wrote the damn thing. Bert's become exactly what Joe Rogan turned into 5 years ago. A guy who skims a tweet, repeats it on camera, and calls it a conversation. This is what it looks like when you're addicted to staying relevant but allergic to information. And speaking of that New York Times article, can we talk about Andrew Schultz? Because apparently he's now being framed as America's foremost political journalist. Like, how the fuck did this happen? How did you people let this happen? Who's tuning into Flagrant for political journalism? Schultz made his name wearing tight pants and posting stand-up clips on Instagram. Now he's the new fucking Walter Cronkite of YouTube. This guy's entire brand is cutting off his guests mid-sentence to crack a fart joke about the deep state. And somehow that qualifies as thought leadership. It's crazy, but it also kinda makes perfect sense. The comedy scene has become so bloated with podcasters pretending to be public intellectuals that even the New York Times can't tell the difference anymore. But speaking of public intellectuals, it's time for a Schultz epiphany about something that we've all been saying for a couple of years now. Better late than never, huh, Schultzy?
It's already the unique experience. Like, seeing people on screens is like
Easy.
nothing now.
Yeah.
So now going to see someone live is like being what being on TV used to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So the live experience is not replicatable by AI. So we want to go do live things, but live is so expensive now that people are kind of like hesitant.
Well, lower your prices.
I'm not on the road.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Smart to not be on the road right now.
Why is the road rough right now?
Yeah, it's not great.
So I wonder. I had a theory about this with comedy. Actually, I think that like I think the bubble has subsided a little bit.
Yeah, well, you can tell that by our ticket sales. We feel that.
Go check out Giannis and Chris on the road.
Go see Property Owner.
No, but I think there's a version of it. Like I remember Shane and I were doing a show in Canada, and it was an outdoor show, and there was like 40,000 people. Like people were sitting on a bridge watching the show from the bridge, right? And I was like, yeah, this is the end of it. Like it should never be this big. Right. And it has to kind of come down. It doesn't mean it comes all the way down. But I think that like after COVID, everybody wanted to be outside. They wanted to laugh. Comedy dominated the culture. The most influential person in the world loves comedy. And because of that, there's like, interest in the people that he influences, obviously Rogan. And I think everybody got those experiences. And I think for a little bit now, they're just like, all right, we're cool. We saw 4 or 5 shows.
Yeah.
And then I don't think it goes away entirely, but I think there's a little bit of a reset.
100%.
There's going to be a purge.
Yeah.
You think it's purge?
There's going to be some, we're cutting the fat or whatever. Like
I just think
certain
it's a
comics
little,
are going to whatever, certain comics are going to sustain, and you're just going to see things kind of.
So this is where we've landed. Schultz sitting on Flagrant having a full-on light bulb moment about the comedy bubble collapsing, and it only took, 2 sold-out tours, a comedy special, bait and switch, and a full-blown podcast industrial complex to get there. He says, and I quote, "The most influential person in the world loves comedy." Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say the most influential person in the world is a comedian, just that he loves comedy, which is true. Joe Rogan absolutely loves comedy, in the same way Elon Musk loves free speech, as long as he's the one doing the talking. And then Akash, bless his little heart, chimes in with his big prediction about there being a purge in the comedy scene. A purge from Akash Singh. That's like Brendan Schaub warning about shitty open micers. You're the purge, dude. You are the one being purged. But honestly, they're not wrong. The whole stand-up boom that Rogan helped inflate during the pandemic is finally running out of gas, and everyone's suddenly pretending like they saw it coming. Like this wasn't completely obvious from the moment every single podcast decided booking 5,000 seaters to recycle the same 5 dick jokes from 2019. Who knew that charging top dollar for low-effort banter and self-congratulatory stage walks would eventually lose its flavor? I mean, don't get me wrong, comedy's not dying, it's just resetting. The fans have comedy fatigue, the money's drying up, and even the algorithm is starting to check out. And that's a fucking computer. But for now, let's all enjoy this moment where the guys who built their empires on attention and overexposure finally start whispering the one thing they've never thought to say out loud. Maybe less is more. Remember though, if you want to stay up to date on all my uploads, make sure you smash that subscribe button for this channel, then head over to my second channel, Podcast Cringe Bites, and subscribe so you don't miss out on my uploads throughout the week. Also, don't forget to hit the link in the description to my Patreon where you'll find all my uncensored, longer form content covering Rogan, Kill Tony, and all the other jerks in the circle. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
He's such
Why
a
don't I get
lunatic.
adult acne on my cheeks?
On your cheeks?
Yeah, like right here and right here. I'm like, I put pimple patches on them. I don't even think those fucking things work.
Are those ingrown hairs maybe?
I think they might be.